if on this sort of pathway journey you want to stop anywhere, because obviously, you know, so we tend to move through it a little bit. If you feel, hey, I really want to stay here because I'm experiencing something that I don't want to, just feel free just to stay where you are, and just go with what your spirit is giving you direction to. Because you know, sometimes people then, you know, miss something because they try and catch up with where we are. You can always step in later on into wherever you go, because, you know, it's our spirit that engages in these things. And so I, you know, encourage you just to step into that place in it all. So to start with, you know, just sort of close your eyes and just begin to think about to Jesus. Fix your eyes on him, because that's always a really good place to start. You know, fix your eyes on him there. And so we're going to just look to engage in our spirit with the first love gate, where Jesus is behind that with the Father and the Spirit, and they're behind the first love gate, and there is a flow of the river of life, a trickle that's coming out from under that gate. But Jesus is knocking, and he just wants you to open up the gate. So whether you just picture that first love gate, just reach out, just begin to open up that first love gate and just sense his presence, and sense the joy and the peace and the love and the acceptance that is just flowing around you, as it just begins to flow around your spirit. Just feel the river of life begins to flow deeper within your spirit, and you can just feel the light and the warmth that comes within your spirit just to engage you, around you. And we just allow Jesus to lead us in these things. Hi, Zachary. We're just engaging in an exercise. So if you just want to just close your eyes and just picture the first love gate and Jesus just opening that. You just reach out, open the first love gate in your own spirit, and allow the presence of Jesus to come, the presence of God to flow around you. And we just want to allow Jesus to take us by the hand, and then we can invite him to come into the garden of our own heart. So we just invite him to come, and that garden, whether you've been there before, you've cultivated it, tended it, it's a place of freedom, a place where your spirit engages and brings freedom. It brings life with it. The river of life is flowing in the garden. And I would just encourage you right now just to think of Psalm 23, and the Lord being your shepherd, and he makes you lie down in green pastures. And there's a green pasture, and there's quiet waters flowing, but you can just lie down, and he's prepared for you there a table, like a picnic of revelation and things he wants to reveal to you. You can begin to talk to him. You can share your heart with him. Just have a conversation with him. Just feel free to let your spirit just engage with him right now. I'm sensing that before you on this sort of picnic, there's some colors, and there's some frequencies and sounds of things that he would want you to get hold of. There's a revelation there for you of engagement with certain colors and certain frequencies, that as you draw them within your heart will draw you to certain things in the realm of heaven, and they will draw you to certain of the seven spirits of God, and they will draw you to engage. So as you draw near, as you're sat near to him, just let the resonance and the frequency of his voice begin to draw you and to connect with you within your spirit. Now, some of you will have developed a secret place within the garden of your heart, the place that you go when you really want that intimacy with God. For me, that was the first place I went, and I've grown that. And there's a swing there and a tree, and I swing with him, and we hang out. For some, it's a secret place, and I want to encourage you to allow your spirit to be creative within the garden of your heart, and let loose the creativity that's in your spirit to create that secret place. There may be that you want it to look familiar. It may be that you want it to be planted with favorite plants or flowers. Just allow your spirit to bring that into creative order. It's a place you can go back to, a place where you can really fellowship with him in a deeper level of intimacy. Now Jesus would just now take you by the hand again, and he's going to lead you to the quiet waters, the river of life, which is within your garden. And you can sit on the edge of that, and you can look, you can go and stand in that river. And as you get more familiar with it, as it feels that that river is flowing with you and through you, sense the life and the energy that it brings. Now begin to just float in the river. Just look what may be on the riverbed. You can go under the water. You can actually breathe under that water. It's because it's living water, it's life that comes out of heaven. Just let your senses and your impressions just of that river and the life that it brings washing and cleansing and energy. It's the fountain, the spring that you can always drink from, that you can always engage in. And you can go deeper and deeper into the revelation of the life that you have in God. I feel Jesus would want us to go, and again he's going to take you by the hand, and he's going to take you through another area into the dance floor. Some of you have been there before, where you can experience his presence, and you can experience the light that touches you at a genetic level, at a level of DNA, because the 9 strands of light DNA that make up the fullness of God and the revelation of God just begin to entwine around you and dance around you and hold you close. Just allow the DNA of the Spirit, righteousness, peace and joy, just to begin to touch you right at the very fabric of your being, to touch your DNA, to engage in your 3 strands of DNA and impart the revelation to you of righteousness, peace and joy. Just sense the DNA of Jesus, the way, the truth and the life. Just begin to move around you, touching you, bringing you a deeper revelation to your heart, to your spirit, to every part of you, that will enable you to engage in the way, the truth and the life in the realms of heaven. And just let the DNA of the Father just come around you, with justice and judgment and grace. Just let it come around you, engage you, feel the sounds, the colors, the frequencies, the vibration, hear his voice, touch you, bringing you into a new sense of intimacy with the Father, the Son and the Spirit. A fresh revelation of who they are, imparted to your DNA, to be released into your spirit, soul and body. Just feel the light bursting around you, because you can't contain what God has placed within you. It needs to be manifested around you. As I'm looking, I can see colors being manifested. You're beginning to shine. Light is coming from you. You're reflecting the glory of the image of God. Again, Jesus would just take you by the hand, and he's going to lead you back to the river of life. Now he's going to take you through that dimension, back through into the realm of heaven, following the river. And I just want you to now begin to breathe the atmosphere of heaven. Just breathe that atmosphere. Breathe in the glory, breathing the freedom. As you just sense heaven around you, the river of life, just begin to feel the greater dimension of life in the river. Again, just look, see if you can see within the river, whether there will be scrolls or treasure there for you to receive. Just be open to that river. Now over to the right, there's waterfalls. Now just think of those waterfalls. You can just come under the waterfall and just feel the energy of that waterfall flowing down over you. Flowing out of heaven from the throne of God and flowing over you. That deep call to deep at the sound of that waterfall. Let the deep things of God call to the deep things into your spirit, calling you to alignment with your destiny, calling you to greater dimensions of power, of presence. That living water is just coming from the very heart of God, flowing down over you. But you can just flow up it. So we can flow up that waterfall. And as you just sense the lightness that your spirit has, as you just begin to think of flowing up, you flow up the waterfall. And on the top, you look and there's a pathway to the side. And you can walk out of the river and walk onto the path. And sense the life that's in the trees and the grass and the pathway. Everything's alive. Everything carries fragrance. It carries meaning and emotion. It's living. And we're just going to follow that path and walk along that pathway, and ahead on that pathway there's a bridge, and Jesus is waiting for you there. And he wants you to cast all the burdens and the weight of anything that you're carrying, any responsibility, anything that you're heavy with, anything that's a hindrance or a restriction to you right now that would hinder your thinking. Just cast it all onto him. It's like taking off a backpack that you've been carrying with a heavy weight and just handing it over to him, and just feel, as you look into his eyes, sense his pleasure, his love, his deep desire for you to be light and free. And he beckons you to cross the river into the garden of God's presence, of the Father's garden. It is so filled with peace. And just engage with the Father there. Just let him guide you. Just draw near to him. Just feel the peace. Over to the right in the garden, there's another waterfall that's cascading down, and at the bottom of that waterfall there is a pool. And you can just get into that pool and just swim down to the bottom of the pool, and at the bottom of the pool there's a chest. And you can open the chest, and within the chest there are gold coins. And you can take a coin and you can place it within your heart. And each of the coins represents one of the vast sum of the thoughts that he has of you, uniquely and intimately. So just allow, as you take one of those coins, the thoughts of God about you to just envelop you, to just be the foundation of who you are. And as you just float back to the top, you carry that thought with you. that transformatory revelation of God's thought about you. And we can just go up the waterfall again. And at the top of the waterfall, the river continues. And as you look ahead, you can see the tree of life. There are scrolls that have been the leaves that have fallen. If you're drawn to scrolls, then just take them, eat them, place them within your heart. As you come to the tree, there's fruit there for you. And just let your spirit draw you to the fruit that you need to take. And just eat it. And just let the senses of the revelation of that fruit just be imparted to you. Just let it be imparted to you at the deepest level. Just taste and see how good God is. This is the source of sustainment for you. Going forward into your future, you can access this tree, access its fruit, partake of the life-giving essence that comes from the fruit that's of this tree that's always in season, that never runs out. Now we can just walk right through the tree and follow the river, and ahead of you on the river is the throne of grace, that you can come boldly because he is sitting waiting for you to come to him, that he will reach down and he would lift you onto his lap, your head against his breast. You can feel his heartbeat. This is where you find all that you need, grace and mercy at time of need. And he would desire you to express your deepest needs to him right now. Those deep things that maybe other people don't know, but they're the deepest needs and desires of your heart. Just let them be expressed. Express them to him. Feel the depth of his love, of his care, of his compassion for you. Feel the impartation of grace and mercy as he releases it to you. Some of you he's empowering with revelation and wisdom to change situations and circumstances. Some of you are being filled with love. Just allow him to impart to you. Gently he puts you down, and he wants to engage you, and engage you with the freedom of heaven. He wants you to engage with him and feel the creative power of your spirit released. And he's standing before you as the lion, not roaring, but looking with eyes of love. He wants to impart to you a new sense of the greatness, of the expanse, of the freedom that you have within the realms of heaven, of who you are as his children, and the joy he feels. Feel the security of him in his kingly form. Just feel the different fragrances, the frequencies, the formulas, the emotions of heaven, glory, the sounds. As the sound of heaven, of the harmony of heaven, is just released all around you. It cocoons you about. And from that place you can rest with him, safe and secure, resting on him, feeling like a little child, totally secure, peaceful, joyous, with the innocence of your spirit. Now from that place, I just feel that he wants to take you individually somewhere to give you some special revelation for yourself. So just allow him to take you where he wants you to go, and just go with that, and just sense what he's wanting to show you, where he wants to take you, what he wants to reveal to you. Now let him just take you back through the dimensions and the realms of heaven, back into the garden of your heart, to take the testimony of one of the things that has meant something to you, or various things, and just plant them within the garden of your heart. Plant them in the soil, water it with the river of life, speak life to it, and just see the tree grow, the fruit grow, becomes a testimony that you can use as a doorway to future encounters, that you can use to form the pathway of these engagements in your life. You can use to give that testimony to others, to open up these realms for others to engage. Now we can just step back into this realm.